Hello. I think I'm live. Let's see. Okay, does look like I'm live. This is great. Except I can't see my stream. Why does this keep happening? Let's see. Okay, I think it's coming up. There we go. Yay. Okay. Fantastic. Let me turn my music on. Hello. Hi, Kevin. Sound okay? Whoops. That probably doesn't sound too good. Sorry. Okay, Kev, let me know how the sound is and if this angle looks good.
This is a reminder. Riggins.
Oh, there's the Riggins. Oops, I gotta move stuff. Beautiful flowers from my garden. Can you see them? Yeah, what big box? Oh, not a very good view. Oh, well. Thanks, honey. There. Hi. You're the only one on. Yeah, no worries. Everything look okay though? Okay. Thanks, babe. Oops. This one. So I've covered my smaller one that I already added the mushroom cap to. I covered that. I'm going to work on that in a bit. But first thing I want to do is connect these two. This is definitely, I've had them in the damp box, but this is a little bit harder than I expected. I probably should have wrapped it up, but it's okay. It's good enough. It's actually going to be great for carving, and I think it's going to be fine. But I'm going to get this added as soon as possible. Okay, so I have this cap and this, and we're going to be putting this on here. Yeah, I think that's going to look great. So I'm using the foam to support this without messing up the shape, and I'm going to score both of these pretty heavily. This has a hole in it already, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Yeah, this is a little bit drier. This is actually the perfect condition for carving, but not optimal for still having to add attachments. So the lesson that I learned is I need to wrap my pieces when I put them in the damp box, because I don't think my damp box seals. I need to get a new one that's got a gasket on it. So that's what happened there. Oops, I'm going to use the toothpick to score in there really good. Score. You know what? I'm going to cut this a little bit. That'll give me a little bit of fresher clay underneath that top there. So I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit. Put the hole back in there. Let's see. So now I'm going to score that again. Okay. And then I'm going to use some slip on it this time for sure, because of the fact that it's a little bit drier. And I'm also going to use my vinegar. So I'll put, oh, actually, I think where did I put my container of vinegar? Oh, well. I'll just put some in the cap here. So I'm putting some vinegar on first, white vinegar. That kind of gives it a nice, it just sort of softens up the clay and gets it a nice gummy consistency for the attachment. I'm scoring again. I really want it to be nice and Velcro-y. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of my pre-made slip right on here. I'm not super precise here. Well, hi Joy. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the question. She asked, why do I use vinegar? Somewhere along the line, somebody that I followed on social media, or maybe it was one of my teachers, suggested white vinegar. And people use it in different ways. Some just use straight white vinegar instead of slip. Some use it with slip or in their slip. Some use it with water. I mean, it's I think what I've heard is that it kind of changes. Joy, you'd probably know this more than me because you're like a scientist mind, but it changes the kind of the platelets in the clay. And I have found that I just, since I've started using it, I rarely have any cracks where the joint is anymore. And so I just kind of use it sometimes with slip, sometimes by itself. It just depends on the wetness of the clay. So I'm going to now attach this. They're both really Velcroed up. And I'm going to support the lid with this and just kind of set this on there. And I'm just kind of turning it just to kind of screw it in there and get as much surface area contact there. And then I'm going to cut this coil in half, and I'm going to wrap this coil around inside. And this is like, I'm putting it right up in there. This is a little tricky with one hand, but you can do it. And so it looks like this on the inside. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah. And then let's see. I like this tool. This is a good one for getting, I use this side of it and I just, let's see if I can hold this up. Oh, it's tricky. Here, I'll do that. And I'm just kind of taking half I'm pushing it first up against the stem, and I'm taking half of the coil and, you know, bringing it up onto the stem. And then I'm turning it around, and then the other half of the coil is getting blended into the cap. So it's basically like, think of like if you had to caulk something. That's what I'm doing, is putting silicone or like clay caulk in there. Clay caulk. I've got a little gap, so first I should be pushing it up against it because I made the coil a little too big, so it's starting to, it wants to come out from there. So I'm just going to smush it up against the base. I have a little extra clay in there. I'm going to sort of pull out. So I'm not worried about making it look super pretty right now because I'm just blending it in. But I do want to try to make it as even as possible around, so that there's no super thick parts. So again, I'm just taking half the coil and blending it up on, up onto the stem, and the other half the coil I'm blending into the mushroom cap. So that's what it looks like. It's not pretty yet, but I've got it attached. I can hold it up now like this. It's going to be fine. And so I will go in there and just kind of clean it up with my fingers and with some tools just to get a feel for how good that attachment is. If there's any thinner spots, this is the time to check that. But I will check underneath here throughout the drying process because this is where, if it's going to crack, this is one place where it will crack. And now I'm realizing this is not what I want to use right now. I'm going to try the smaller one. So now I want to try to get in there and I want to compress that. So I'm going to use my pinky and see if I can get Yeah, I just wet it down just a little bit, and I'm just like using my pinky to really push that clay in, make sure that attachment's good. I probably used a little too much water on that pinky. You don't want to add a bunch of water to join areas because that's, again, if they're the most vulnerable to cracks. But it's okay. I think I'm going to be fine. So now I'm just, again, like, I'm just smoothing everything out with my finger. So it looks like that now. I like that. So this is where I decided that the door was going to be, just because it was a little bit thinner there. And so because of that, I like to have I don't like to have the front be tilted down, right? So that when you're looking at it, it looks like a little bit open. So I'm just kind of um, positioning that where I want it to be before it dries. And it still looks good. There's no cracking yet. So good. So that's that. Now let me take off this and see if it stands up straight. Cute. Yeah, I like that. So now what I think I'm going to do next is, let's see, this cap is still pretty. It's still like cheese hard, so it's still definitely moist enough for me to attach the chimney to it. I don't feel like I have to rush the chimney, but I do want to add I got to figure out what I'm going to do to the body because it is getting a little drier. And so if I'm going to be cutting into it or whatever, I want to think that through. I do know that I'm going to start with the round door. So that's what I do know. So that's what I'm going to work on first. I'm just kind of assessing the size of it. I'm not sure if that's where I want it or not. So I'm going to kind of erase that little marker that I made with the rubber tool on Tuesday. Now that I have the cap on, I'm going to just I'm going to see where I want the door now that the cap's on. There. I'm just kind of going along right now and just smoothing out, some of these little burrs and rough parts on the cap. It's funny because it's naturally tilting here, so the door wants to be over here, but I had it over a little. I think I can move it over. It's okay. I can do whatever I want. I think it wants to be right here, so I'm going to mark that. So I have to decide what I want to do with this one. I'm going to get a cookie cutter out to act as a little guide for how big I want the door. I have this little, I don't even know what this is from. Put that up there to see if that's, I think that's actually a great size. So maybe I'll just use that as the, or is that, yeah, let's see. So I'm just going to kind of press that in a little bit just to see what it looks like. That might be just a hair too big. I don't know. Hmm. No, that's too small. I mean, that's about the same size. I'm just going to use that as my guide. All right, so if I have a circle door there, I want to think about what I want to do to the entrance. There's been a couple little houses that I've added some stairs to. So sometimes I just like to do little mock-ups to kind of envision. It's like the only way I can envision it. So like something like that would stick out from there. But if I'm gonna put stairs there, my inclination is that I want to put a little something around the whole thing, like a little border. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this because I don't want it to get dried out anymore. And I'm gonna play with some ideas about maybe putting a little stone border around the bottom. So I'm just gonna take some clay and roll out a little coil. This is just me completely playing. I have no idea yet what I want to do. So a lot of times I just figure it out as I go. I'm using my little pony roller to roll something out, see if this might be the idea. And I got this really fun, this is a roller, a little texture roller by MKM, and this makes little stones, which I love. And so you can do something like this. The trick is keeping it even as you go, which I don't do very well, but look at how cute. I think that's too wide for what I want, so I need to make a smaller coil. I know, I love this roller too. I want to get more. Oh, and then I made my own texture roller. This was just a coil clay that I took the ends and twisted them pretty severely. Let me show you this. This is fun. So yeah, I would love to do this more. Make my, I follow somebody, a couple people actually, who make their own texture tools and stamps and everything, and it's really cool. So like here with this homemade roller I do, I mean, you get the idea. I use this a lot on my roofs, or for like even fairy houses. Like when I'm rolling slabs, I'll put this on there because it just makes a really cool, natural looking texture. And then I even did, looks like a yummy breadstick. It does. And then I had made these one time. I didn't know what I was making. This was years ago. And I think I was just playing with slabs and textures, and I use this every once in a while too. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know how effective it is. It's good for little areas, but look at how cool that is. I actually really like that a lot. I forgot how much I like that. Yeah, that's neat. And I like texture tools where you don't have, they can just, you can be imprecise with it. Oh, I like that a lot. That's neat. So, I mean, I could even do something like this around the house. So, what do you think about that? I'm just trying to decide what clay to use, whether I should use fresh off the block or if I can use. Okay. I think what I want to do, I think I need a bigger space. So let me step over here for a minute and roll this out. Stay tuned. Okay. I rolled out a little strip and I'm going to play with this and see what I can do with it. So I kind of made a little wall. I have no idea if this is long enough, and that's always going to be the challenge. So let's see. Because ideally, it would just be one long strip that goes around so I don't have to try to attach and match the pattern if it doesn't go all the way around. Oh, that's gonna work. Yay. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do, I like this a lot. So I'm gonna cut this. Definitely has different thicknesses where I pulled it up and set it back down. I'm not worried too much about it. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this here. Ooh, that's pretty thick still. Not ideal. I would like to make it thinner than that. So let me think, what do I do? I don't want to turn it over because I've already, well, let's just see. I might need to roll another one. That's better. That's kind of cool. Let's see what it looks like on here. Trying to decide if I like it with the lip at the top. Or do I want to take that off? Yeah, I think I like that better. So I'm actually going to cut this lip off. Well, and it's also too long, so let's figure out where it actually needs to be cut. So I'm going to cut it something like that. And then I'm going to cut that lip off on this side carefully. This work board I got for myself is not quite big enough. It's a little uneven. It's okay. All right, so now I've got my little wall, my little retaining wall. It's still thick, so I'm gonna see how thick it is down there. Not like that. I'm just gently pushing on it. Try to bring that down a little bit. Okay, so I want this one, I think I want this to be the top, although I want to get a little bit more, yeah. I kind of want the top to look like it's also part of the same texture. So I'm just kind of winging it here, you know? Okay. Now that's going to go around the whole base so that it looks like a little retaining wall, I think. Do I like that? And then we would put stairs right here. I can't decide if I like this or not. I like that it looks natural. So it does look like something that would you could, that this little creature made from outside. Just not sure I love it. I don't know. I don't think I'm not feeling this on this one. Maybe on the other one. I'm going to put this aside because I don't know if I want to do that. All right. I think what I'm going to do is just I'm going to do the door. That way I can show you guys how I do these doors because it's an interesting process. And then I'll figure out the thing later. So I'm going to I'm going to be cutting this door out of the body of the thing, but it's a round door. And so it's extra tricky. I've only done this once before, but it was so cute. So I'm going to use, I think, my sharpest knife, which is my X-Acto knife. And I think I like this size, so I'm going to just go with it. Now, do I want to cut? I think I want to cut at a 45-degree angle, kind of down. Yes, that's what I want to do. So I'm kind of starting like this, and it's a little tricky with the X-Acto, but I'm going to kind of cut down like this and toward the inside. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So I'm just going to go super slow. I want to support this cap with my hands and the foam because it's still, I don't want to have any problems with detachment. Yeah, at a 45-degree angle, Joy, she's asking the way I'm cutting. What I mean is like, I'm not, I'm not sticking the X-Acto knife straight in as I'm doing it. I'm kind of angling as I'm pointing it toward the inside. The angle of the inside is because I'm trying to make a nice, as I pull this door out, I want it to look um, beveled. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm kind of trying to cut at a 45-degree angle in here. We'll see if it works. Oh gosh, that's rough. I kind of messed up the door there. We'll have to see how this works. Might be able to fix it. So it's cut all the way through, I think. Although now that I'm looking on the inside, I don't know if it feels like it didn't go all the way through. I got to keep pushing it. There, now I see the cut happening. I messed up the door right here, so my intention is to try to keep it together, basically to try to patch it so that you can't tell that I cut off there. All right, I think I've got enough of it cut around. I'm gonna gently pry it open from the inside. I don't want to push too hard because this can just snap off. So I'm just gently pushing it open. The intention is that I'm just going to have a little cracked door at the end of it that you'll be able to see the tea light coming through. And I think I got it. Now I'm going to I'm going to put my thumb here because I'm going to pull this a little bit and I don't want to snap that off. So I'm just gently pulling. And then I'm going to flip it over and look at it from the inside. You can see from the inside that I really didn't cut it. The inside is not a circle. It's funny. But I like it because see, it looks like to me, I don't know if you can see this, but it kind of looks like it's a portal hole, you know, the way that that cutting is done. I'm going to have to go in and clean that up though. But that's the idea. So now I'm going to just, there's a lot of, you can see how thick my walls were. I probably should have made them a little bit thinner, but I need to take a little bit of that clay off and kind of clean that up. Let's see. There's a lot of different tools I can use for this, and it's just going to be a matter of guessing, I think. So this is a little trim tool. I'm just going to use it to kind of take off a little bit of that clay in there on the door. I'm just pulling it a little bit and bringing some of the clay off, getting some of the clay off. I want it to have the illusion of the cracked door, but it doesn't need to retain all that clay. So again, I'm just pulling a little bit off of the back side of the door, trying to clean that up a little bit. There. So you can see there, it's a little bit of a lower profile. There. Now I need to go up and clean up these edges. So these are just these plastic sculpting tools. They were available in my class at the college and I fell in love with them. They're really flexible and there's all kinds of different shapes and angles and everything that you can, for sculpting, they're really great. And then I had a really hard time finding this particular brand, which I wanted to buy this brand because it was the brand that they had at the school. And so I knew that, I knew that I would know them. And I ended up having to order them from Canada. But I got them and I love them. So they're called, what are they called? Oh, they don't have their names on them. Interesting. I'd have to look in my orders to find out what they were called. They are a specific brand. I think they might even be taxidermy tools, if I remember right. So I'm just using my finger to soften this a little bit more, these edges. I'm going to end up carving into, I want this to look like a kind of like have a tree bark. So all of this will have tree bark texture on it. And hmm, this little bottom part of the door is being a little bee. Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, I'm using my finger to try to soften out that. And then I find certain brushes to just be really useful for hand building. I had one that was so perfect that I used all the time. And of course I lost it. I think I left it at the school, but I dug through all of their paintbrushes and couldn't find it. So this is the one I use for slip now. And sometimes a paintbrush can be really helpful to just get into places that are hard to get into with a tool. But the downside is that when you're using it, especially with a grogged clay like this is Laguna Speckled Buff, it can bring the grog to the surface and then it gets really sandy. And you can already kind of see that a little bit right there. Most of the time I can smooth it out with my finger and get it blended back in there, but you got to be careful with using too much water on sponges and paintbrushes on heavily grogged clay, or this isn't even that heavy, but grogged clay, because of the graininess that it can bring to the surface. So I'm going to just keep pulling this out as I go along because I have work to do on it, but always remembering to not pull too hard. And I still feel like the profile for the door is a little too, like there's too much clay back there so that it's hard to see inside of there. So I'm going to just keep scraping off a little bit with this trimming tool, and I'm just trimming that clay off the back of the door. Taking my rubber tip tool, going in there from the inside and kind of cleaning that out. I'm kind of making a mess of this. I guess it's okay. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with that profile. I'm going to just keep cleaning this up. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's not a perfect circle. I made it come up more over on this side than I meant to. I'm going to try to blend that back in. See how it's kind of feels like it's tilting down a little bit. Maybe I need to let this, I think maybe I need to bring a little bit more of it open up here. Cut a little bit more into it to try to even it out. Not much though, because I don't want it to come off. All right. Hmm. All right, well, good enough. Okay, now I'm a little worried about, I got to remember to keep spraying it because I don't want it to get dried out. Just lightly spraying it as I'm working with it. And at some point, I'll try to put more plastic on it as I'm working with it if it starts getting too dry, but it's still okay. So that's where I'm at right now. And I think that's great. That's going to be really cute. I won't worry too much about cleaning up all this. This is a little off right here. I will do more cleanup later. I'm not too worried about all the little boogers and stuff. And so now I'm back. Ah, that's a weird door. Oh gosh. I got the roundness kind of messed up. There, I think that's a little better. Okay. Maybe I need to do the little step first, and then that'll help me figure out what I want to do for the wall, if anything. You know what? Maybe what I'll do instead is Let me test this out. Maybe I'll put a little entryway, I mean, a little frame around the door instead. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, it'd be kind of cute. It'd be kind of cute if it looked like viney. Sometimes when I roll out these coils, they remind me of little vines. Like they kind of look natural like that when I put my knuckles into it like this. So let's see what something like that could look like. Gotta be careful though, because it can break easily. That could be pretty cute if I could get it right. Gotta figure out how big I want it to be. That's pretty cute. I like this idea. So I like the concept. I don't know if I'm doing, I don't know if it's what I want it to be. I feel like maybe this, see, it's already starting to crack there. I gotta be careful. No, that's not what I want. I don't know, man. Sometimes it just takes a minute to come to me what I want to do. I mean, I definitely know I want to add little brackets onto the door, like such. Something like that. So it needs to be something. That's cute. Feel free to pipe in with any ideas of framing around the door. I could, let's see. Oh, you know, the other thing I do sometimes, actually, I know what I'm going to do. I got it. I got it. I got it. I sometimes like to make these look like they're actually carved into the, like the wood is coming out from it. And to do that, whoops, I'm going to add on a coil. Not too big. I tend to make them too big and then I regret it. So I'm just going to try to go maybe here. First, before I do that, I am going to add on these little hinges. I want those to be on there first. So I'm just rolling out really thin coil, and I'm going to try to find something that looks like a hinge from this. All right. I don't want them to be super long. So the key is always trying to get them like the right heft, and then to get tapered ends on both sides. So that's always the tricky part when you're working with really thin, small pieces of clay like this. Whoops, I'm noticing that I'm lagging. So sorry about that if any of you are experiencing a lag. Kev, can you let me know if everything looks okay on your end? Husband of mine? Okay, thanks. Every time I'm looking up, it shows that it's lagging, and so I'm worried about it. But I don't think there's anything I can do, so I'm just gonna move on. I mean, keep moving on. Thank you for letting me know, my sweet friend. Okay. I think I have two relatively even. I don't think this is working. Oh, I think I'm back. If you can see me, please let me know. All right, I'm gonna just keep plugging on. I hope that you guys can hear me. Let's see, where's this? You know, for these tiny little pieces, I'm not even gonna score, actually. I'm just gonna use some of my vinegar. I'm just gonna trust that the clay is gonna stick. Now I'm just gonna place them on here, hopefully in the right spot. All right. I think I've got them. And I basically just set them on there, and now I'm just gently, I don't want to mess up the shape. So I'm just gently pressing them on there. I think they're going to stick for the through the kiln. I like them. Ah, I moved it. Oh, shoot. Oh, gosh. Oh, brother. Let's see what I could do. I moved it and it's stuck where I moved it to. So now I got to, oh my gosh, I'm making such a mess. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can fix it. Yeah, maybe I can. Oh my gosh, I got them in the wrong spots now. All right. Plan B, try again. I hope you guys can hear me. It feels like I'm still going. Yeah, I think I am. All right, I got to try find another couple hinges. So I'm just taking a couple of these and I'm going to try to moisten them again and see if I can get them in the right shape. This is detail work, y'all. But this is what I love. I love doing this. It's just, it's all, you're really fighting against time because my mushroom house is drying as I'm sitting here. And actually, I should probably just put it in some, there. All right, I've got another 2 tiny hinges. Let's see if I can get these to work. Where is my, oh, here it is. Okay, so that's good enough. I think I've got a place. Now I got to be careful that I don't do the same thing I did before. Right now I'm just kind of like taking the ends and pushing the ends down because I want the ends to look a little more tapered. So I'm just kind of setting them down a little like that and pushing them out a little. And then the same thing for this one. Okay, I think I like that. Hey Kev, if you're here, can you tell me if you hear me? Okay, there, got those on. I like them. All right, so I've got the hinges on there. Now I'm going to add that coil around, like I was mentioning, that I want to make it look like it's like the wood is coming out. So this is the coil I'm going to use. And I think I'm going to go around like this. I got to think about this for a sec. Maybe I'm going to flatten it. Let's see. Maybe I'll flatten one side of it. Guys, if anybody's chatting, I don't know. It tells me I can't connect to chat. So I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Joy. Okay, I refreshed my page, so maybe. Okay. So my idea is that it's gonna come out of the wood. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So cool. I'm gonna attach that. I'm gonna score around this whole door. Again, I'm using my handy dandy toothpick scoring tool. I have no idea if this is going to work. I haven't done it like this before, but I'm going to try. So I've scored the thicker part of the coil. I'm going to add some vinegar. Okay. I don't think I need any slip. Then I'm just going to put this all the way around. Like this, and then I'm going to connect it down here by cutting through. Let's see, how do I want to do that? Here we go. So now I'm just going to blend that all together, and I want it to look, then I'm going to make it look, I'll texturize it to make it look like the wood. So I'm going to use my little tool here. Might still be a little too big, actually. Okay, this isn't exactly what I wanted it to be. Let me think. Yeah, actually, I think I can do this. I'm just going to bring this in like this. I messed up this hinge again. Gosh darn it. Okay. I'm just using my rubber tip tool to try to make that secure attachment from the inside too without trying. I don't want to mess up my door. I'm not sure this was the most effective way for me to put this coil around, but I'm stuck with it now. So a lot of times with, even if you don't necessarily do it right the first time, you can get it in the cleanup phase. You know what? This is not what I wanted. I think I put the angle of the coil on wrong. So I'm taking it off. I probably could have figured it out, but I want what I want. Now I got to clean this up. Well, welcome to my studio, where the more I work on this piece, the more I am dinking it up. All right, well, I didn't mess it up too bad. I think everything is redeemable. Just got to get my crap together here. Just kidding. All right, let's try this again. So I'm going to roll another coil. Okay. Poor little house. Taking a little beating. Okay, so rather than trying to pinch it before, I'm just going to put a plain old coil on. And then I'm going to shape it after I get the thing on there. I'm just scoring it again. My mushroom house, the body of it's getting a little bit more dry, so I'm going to put vinegar on and then I'm going to re-score it. Try to get some good slip working in there. Okay. Oops. Still a little too big, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit more. Now I'm just blending this coil onto the body, pulling down from the top with this tool. Yeah, this is more what I had in mind. I think my mistake before was trying to shape it ahead of time, and I couldn't get it right. So this is what I had in mind, though, where it looks like it's kind of growing, the entrance is kind of growing out of the tree trunk or out of the base. Cute. I like it. Now I'm going to clean this up a little. And I'm not worried too much on this about making all of those blending lines disappear, because I want to reinforce the idea that it's coming out, and like that it's being stretched open. So these lines help, tell that story, but I probably will do even more texturizing once this dries a little bit more. This top part is the only part I'm not super happy with, so I need to try to figure out how to blend that in. Let's get my tool here. I'm just kind of pinching the edges of that coil to make it look a little bit more like Portal Lake. All right. So I've got it on there. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to texturize more of this, but I want to look at this door a little bit more, make sure that it's opening. What's cool about this is that I actually accidentally made a little I mean, I made a little entrance, you know, they can step up on here to get in. It's cute. I've never had one quite like this. All of my mushroom houses are, of course, one of a kind. I usually do them one at a time, and each one has its own character and its own personality and features and all that. So my door is a little oblong. Oh, shoot, it's okay. By the time you texturize it and everything, you know, and that's what I love about doing these kinds of pieces is it's like, you know, it kind of gets to be whatever it wants to be. Um, you know, who's to say that something exactly like this doesn't exist out in nature somewhere, in fairyland somewhere, right? All right, just cleaning up. There's so many little places where the clay gathers and kind of hard to reach. All right, cute. So I still have the door coming open. You can still see in there. The hinges could use some work, maybe. Okay. So I'm just going to blend some of this new clay in just to smooth it out. And then again, I'm going to go and texturize it more, but I just don't want it to look like I just slapped this on. So I'm blending that in a little bit. I kind of love that. It looks natural. See, you just never know when you stick with it. Seeing how that me blending that in kind of makes it look like it's stretching a little bit. Like it looks like natural organic texture. Okay. Cute. I like that. Now I need to decide. I'm checking on that join up at the top and it looks great. No cracking. Now I need to decide where to put windows. Hi. Thanks, Jenny. I think it's pretty cute too. Hi. Hubby's here. No, I'm almost done for the day. Maybe. I don't know. I might decide to stay on a little while because I didn't even get to the other one yet. Oh, these hinges, I don't know. I got to figure out some other way to do hinges because these are rough. But that's okay. Maybe they need to be rough. Okay, so this is going to have a tea light coming through that you're going to be able to see the light through the door. And then I'm going to want to have, let's see, maybe do a little window right here. I always like to think about where the tea light sits too. Actually, do I have one in here? I don't think this one works though. Oh, it does work. See? Cute. That's going to be coming through there. So how far up does that sit? Yeah, I think having the window here would be cute. Maybe a little higher actually. I think I'll do one there. Or should I do a moon? Let's see. Hmm. Oh, that'd be cute. I could do a little moon right there. Yeah. Let's do that. Let me see. Do I want to do that size? Or no, not that one. No, I think I want to do the bigger one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I got these cookie cutters off of somebody from Etsy. And I'm going to use this one to give me the imprint of where I want my moon to be. I'm going to try to center it over the door. And then I'll carve it out. I'll cut it out. Yeah, I think that's where I want it. Now, this will be tricky. I think. I almost don't love this, but it is the sharpest thing I have, and it's a kind of a thick wall. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trace the outline first. I don't have to cut all the way through first time around. I wonder if I could push it all the way through, or at least get it going. I'm going to try. I feel like maybe that's what I did on my last one. See how far I can get in there. Well, I got pretty far in. So I'm supporting it on the underside with my finger because I don't want it to deform what's underneath it. And so I'm trying to push this all the way through, which is proving to be difficult. But I think I got it most of the way. So I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to try to finish cutting it with the knife, maybe. Look at that. That's pretty cute, actually. So now I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and I'm just trying to finish the job. Man, I'm almost there. I could almost push it out. I almost wish I had a smaller knife, smaller blade. I'm to the place where I can get the plug out. Yay! I'm going to pull it all the way out and then we're going to clean it up. There we go. All right. It's okay. Let's see. What is the best cleanup tool I can use? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love it. So I gotta just keep trying to clean up this little area in here. Oh, this is a good one. Cute. I definitely see that I made my walls too thick for this mushroom house. I don't know why I did that. Um, I mean I didn't do it on purpose. I think I could have pinched him out a little bit thinner, and that's okay. Um, so I'm trying to smooth out this little like uh, inside of this of the moon part. It's kind of chunky. I'm just trying to blend it in so that you can't really, because it's really rough cut there from where I was cutting. For those of you that are here, I'm so excited. So a week from today, I'm not going to be on. I won't be on this next Tuesday. I'm actually going to a famous ceramic studio, or I should say, like the property of a famous ceramic artist who has passed, but now they run her estate. It's up in Guerneville here in Northern California, and it's called Pond Farm. I had never heard about it until in my class, my college class. They were some of the ladies were talking about it, and so we're going to actually do like a little field trip next Tuesday. We're getting a private tour, and we're going to go see. I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't know much about it. Apparently, this woman that ran the studio is a pretty famous potter, so I'll learn all about her, and I can't wait to just be surrounded by art. And the redwoods is right next door to Armstrong Redwoods State Park, so it's a beautiful area. So I'll be doing that on Tuesday, but then Thursday I'm so excited. My gorgeous amazing friend Heath Morgan Owen is going to be on with me, and we're just gonna play with clay together. He's just gonna come over and we're gonna chit chat. I can't wait for you to meet him. He's an amazing artist in his own right, and he's a really dear friend. And yeah, we're gonna just kind of come on and play and see. He wants to maybe consider doing a collab piece with me in the future, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And I think you're gonna love him. His energy is so infectious, and he's just he's a lot of fun to be around. So hope you'll come on Thursday and hang out with me and Morgan, me and Heath. I called him Morgan. That's his middle name. All right, so there's the moon window. I'm probably going to clean it up a little bit more, but that's pretty cute. Maybe I could have gone with the smaller one. but I think it'll look nice with the, let's see. Oops, this thing. Oh yeah, that looks good already. I love it. So that's one window. And I'll probably do another one. Should I do another one on the back? Should I do one on over here? Or maybe I should do one on just on the back? Because I like the idea of the firelight hitting the back wall of somebody's house too if they're sitting there. So maybe I'll do, I don't want to do it here though, because that'll, you'll be able to see it through there. Maybe I'll just do an odd one, like right here. Yeah, that's kind of cute. Just like randomly, not quite in the back, not quite on the side. Okay. So now I know kind of the area I want to do it in. I better get cracking because this thing is getting dry. All right. So I have this really cool tool. It's a square hole cutter. Look at that. And I use this to make the cutest little windows. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to basically I'm going to make 4 windows. I'm just showing you what I'm going to do and then I'll do it. I'm going to cut 4 things and make a little window out of that. So it's going to have the little crossbar in there and everything. It makes it easy to do. So I'm going to support it from the inside. And you just push through. Oopsie. This thing is adjustable, so you can push in as far as you need to push. I made that one kind of crooked, of course, which is fine. I love crooked stuff. So, oops, you got to keep the cap on or it slides out. Uh-oh, did I mess this up? There we go. So there's the first one. Ah, I keep pulling this thing apart. Gosh. See, my building, my little house here is dry enough that as I'm pushing in with this cutter, it's not really deforming the body because it's supporting itself now. This part though, because these are weak now, so I am going to support this from back here so that it doesn't hopefully tear those middle cross section. Hmm. Okay, there's the little window. Look at how cute. That's a lot easier than trying to carve, or I have done this in the past where I've carved out a window and then added back in the cross posts, which is just a different way to do it. Okay, now I'm going to add a little coil around that. This one I want to do smaller than the one around the door. This one feels good. So I'm just going to make it kind of round-ish. And that's where it's going to cross. So I'm going to cut right there. It's going to score all around that window. So I just threw that on there. Doesn't need to be perfectly round or anything because it's supposed to be out in nature. And now I'm just going to attach this the same way I did the other. So I'm just blending this in here because I really want it to look like it's the like I don't want it to look like the coil was applied after. I want it to look like the coil, like this part is growing out from the tree. So I'm just blending this inside windowsill into that coil. Oh my gosh, you guys, the whales are like going insane this year. They're so, I don't know. I don't even know how to tell you. I went down there yesterday. Yeah, I went for a walk yesterday and just, I don't know, 20 different spouts all across and lunges. I had my binoculars with me and got to see them lunging and tail slapping, and I mean there's just pods and pods of these humpbacks, and uh somebody here in Pacifica got drone footage of them, and they were like harbor seal. I don't know if they were harbor seals or um what's the other kind of seal that's around here? But there were seals with them, and they got close-ups of them, and they were just feeding and lunging and having a great time. It was really cool. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, I'll come in here with and clean this up a little bit more when but the clay is a little too wet right there, but cute, right? Little window there, and then see how cute? Can you see that? Yeah. Now, do we want to put another window over on this side, or is that too many windows? Let me see. From the front view, it looks cute. I like that little. I like how it looks like it's outgrowing here. Oh, what do you guys think? Should I add another coil, excuse me, window, like maybe right here. That's too much at the same height as that one though. I like to have them staggered a little bit so they don't look like they're right on the same plane. Nope. Okay, moon window. Maybe it definitely looks cute from this side. It's this side that needs something. Let's see, maybe here. Let's see. Have to remember to go in and clean up the inside where those windows poked through because it gets kind of messy.